So, how's the costume working out for you zombie huesitos? Really? You're going out more. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Oh! Hello, class, and welcome to Horror 101 and Professor Macabro's Halloween Marathon. We're up to day 23, class. Yes, day 23. We're almost at the last stretch of this Halloween Marathon. I hope you have enjoyed watching these videos, because I've enjoyed doing them for you. I hope they have also opened your eyes to a wide variety of horror movies, both good and bad. There is a common concept in horror movies that proposes the idea that what you don't see is scarier. What is implied will always give you the heebie-jeebies, instead of just showing you something that goes, bah! Boo! Scary. But what happens when a movie takes that concept and pushes it a bit too far, where you literally can't see what's coming after you? Well, that would be today's tale of terror. Hollow Man. Starring Kevin Bacon and Elizabeth Shue. For a moment, I will admit, I didn't even know it was her. I don't know if it's because she has short hair here, but I totally didn't recognize her when I first saw this movie. This movie called Hollow Man is actually a updated version, if you will, of The Invisible Man, the classic Universal story where a scientist formulates a formula that turns him invisible. And now that no one can see him, he can go walking about, doing whatever he damn well pleases. But of course that goes to his head, and then becomes a supervillain. And a sequel with Vincent Price, also very good. The special effects in those two movies were groundbreaking. Because, we didn't have CGI back then. You had to be creative on how you actually go about creating an invisible man on film. This one has the advantage, or disadvantage, depending on how you look at it, of having CGI technology. So, right off the bat, you won't know whether or not you're going to like it or not. Especially if you don't like remakes. Again, though not technically a remake, Hollow Man is a reimagining or update of The Invisible Man. Kevin Bacon stars as the head of a scientist group that is working for the government on developing a super soldier serum. And the way they go about it is by creating an invisibility formula. They try it out on a gorilla, but unfortunately, not being able to see herself makes the gorilla go batshit crazy. I assume that's the kind of thing that would happen. I mean, if I woke up in the morning and couldn't see my beautiful face, I'd be like, I can't see my beautiful face. Ah! I would probably go properly insane. So, unfortunately, while they did figure out how to make something invisible, they have no idea how to make it visible again. So, promptly, the gorilla goes insane. The team is unfortunately pressured by the military to speed up their process. They invested millions constructing this underground laboratory for you people, so we want results. Or we'll shut you down and go figure out something else. The government has a proposal for zombies, so get on it. We don't want to go with zombies. It never goes well. So Kevin Bacon's like, we need to make this thing work, so I will volunteer myself. See if it works on humans and prove that because the lowly gorilla was a gorilla, she couldn't deal with the fact of being invisible. But I'm a human. I am a smart human. That kind of thing won't happen to me. You can already tell where this is going. But already, the Kevin Bacon character is a bit of a jerk. Yes, quite of a jerk. He thinks he's smarter than he actually is, and lets people know about it. So, of course, he takes the invisibility formula, and I will give this to the movie. While I am not a fan of CGI, this scene where he's turning invisible was actually pretty well done. I will give you that, movie. Because you see him turn invisible through layers. You have his face, and then the skin starts turning invisible till you see the muscles. It's very, very cool to see the muscles. And then the muscles turn invisible, and you start to see the veins. You know, see all the circulation happening, which is actually pretty weird if you think about it. If the chemical is running through the blood, shouldn't the blood turn invisible first? Shouldn't the veins be the first thing that turns invisible, not the skin? Anyway, so you see the veins, you know, only the veins and the eyes, and then, poof, he's gone, invisible. And he's like, I can't see my hands, because they are invisible. Can't you see me? And it was like, no, we can't see you. That's the whole point. But, as a means to prevent him from going batshit crazy, they put latex on him and create a latex mask of his face, so he doesn't go crazy. But, it's not explaining whether or not it's the fact that you can't see yourself in a mirror, or the fact that the guy was already a jerk, or the fact that maybe the chemical just has that side effect that turns you insane. Warning, the following product might have secondary effects. 1 out of 2 people go batshit crazy with the invisibility formula. Ask a medical doctor if this is right for you. So he goes crazy. You know, at first he's like, hey, yeah, I'm invisible. This is pretty cool. Yeah, no one can see me. And the guy has a huge ego. So he starts feeling, you know, that people aren't noticing him. Which makes sense, because you're invisible. But one day he escapes, and he's always been ogling a neighbor, and this gets a bit uncomfortable. One day he's like, well, she can't see me. It's not like she can prosecute me if I do anything, despite the fact that there's DNA testing, but whatever. He goes into her neighbor's house and has his way with her. It's not cool. Don't do that, class. That's a big no-no. Never do that. So now his scientist friends are like, you know what? I think the mentally unstable, egotistical maniac was probably not the best option to try out our invisibility formula. I mean, look at the monkey. She's all crazy. Imagine what would happen to this guy. But, of course, the bad guy being invisible hears them. And, of course, now formulates a plan to eliminate everyone and somehow rule the world with his invisibility. How would you go about that, actually? I mean, how would you give speeches? How would you have your image in a poster if you're invisible? Makes no sense. No sense at all. But that's the thing. And apparently, the invisibility formula also grants him superhuman strength. And a healing factor, apparently. Because in the last scenes when they're trying to escape, they charbroiled him. They burned him. So you see him all burned. Now that, if you don't know how it works, being burned is one of the worst ways to go. Because your whole body is burning. You can smell your own flesh cooking. Eventually, the pain is so much that your brain shuts down and you die. But it is not a fun way to go. But he just burns. I'm burning. And then goes back at the end. And, you know, like, I'm not dead. I'm just horribly burned. Before getting promptly eliminated. Class, let me make a suggestion. If, somewhere down the line, you do develop a invisibility formula, make sure you figure out how to turn yourself visible again. I have seen 3, and the sequel, 4, because this thing actually has a sequel, believe it or not. 4 movies where a person develops an invisibility formula and doesn't consider a way to turn himself back. There is such a thing called the scientific method, where you don't just go full-blown, test yourself with your serum. Experiment! Figure out how to turn yourself visible again. Because it never ends well. Same thing goes if you develop a zombie thing. Make sure you create an antivirus. They're scientists. They should know about the scientific method, shouldn't they? Anyway. Yes. Hello, man. Going back to this. Like I said, as compared to the original has the charm of being a classic. But it's not a rip-off of the original. It takes the general premise and, updates it. So, it is more of a reimagining than a full-blown remake. So I'll give it points for that. And again, the part where Kevin Bacon is turning invisible is actually pretty cool. Still holds up today. Everything else, like, how he goes insane and what he does to that poor woman, that's not so cool. But it's still passable, still enjoyable. Hollow Man, with the ever-great Kevin Bacon, gets a score of B+. It has its moments, but of course, if you use logic, it falls apart very badly. But I would still recommend you watch it. If you're a fan of the classic Universal Monsters, this is a very interesting update. Well, class, we're done with one more day. I am going to try my darnest to keep myself constant and pump out these reviews up until Halloween. Once again, this was your humble teacher and guide, Professor Macabro, accompanied by the lovely now, Zombie Wasitos, S. Elvira. How long are you going to keep this up? Oh, you're going to keep it on until Halloween. Oh, hope I don't get in trouble by the Elvira group. Well, class, until I see you tomorrow, this was Professor Macabro again, wishing you all a good evening.